Hello folks and welcome back to another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. How's everyone doing today? And we have here, following the Android 21 EZA's info, we got the data download for it, and we're getting World Tournament Awakenings for the, if I'm not mistaken here, this Gohan is, yeah. So this Gohan has been over 5 years in 8 months since he released, and he's getting a Dokkan Awakening. And then, of course, the Krillin as well, but this one is a much more recent one. This came out last year in March. So we will go over those details here, as well as look through the data download. So we've got World Tournament number 63 coming. We are also getting all of these exchange items now. We're getting another quiz set. So we're going to be able to use the exchange of the quiz to pick the answer yes or no for 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And then we will be able to see once the quizzes are done. We had this last year, if I'm not mistaken, around this time as well. I did do shorts for each of the questions, so look forward to those as well. And yeah, so World Tournament 63 is always on the weekend. It starts late Thursday night for me, early Friday, whatever the case is for most people. It goes up until late Sunday or early Monday morning for most of the Western community. So it strangely coincides with Dokkan Special Day, which is going to be this what is it? Is it tonight or tomorrow? It's sorry, not tonight. It's going to be Friday evening to Saturday evening for Dokkan Special Day. Yeah. So, funnily enough, regarding Dokkan Special Day, the Popo event has a better link level rate, apparently. So, this is genuinely of no concern besides for the 10 Dragon Stones for Dokkan Special Day. So go ahead and grab those. And yeah, World Tournament this weekend. Luck, folks. So there is a bunch of Dragon Stones there as well. Now, onto the Gohan Kid. So, of course, this unit came out a long time ago. So, the SSR is going to be very lackluster. 60% attack and defense when there's a Piccolo, 2 key, and 20% attack and defense at the start of each turn up to 80%. Which could be interesting, of course. I mean, your team has Piccolo attacking the same turn attacks are effective against all types. And for every attack received, up to 60%, 15% attack and defense. Then we have here, so it becomes a Super AGL type key 3 and 90% to stats, key plus 3 and 200% to attack and defense, high chance of evasion, which is 50%. Of course, this art right here is from when he's dodging that little like land dragon that comes after him during his year of training over there. So then he also has Saiyan Saga category allies, attack and defense plus 40%. Shout out to Dokkan DB, by the way, for all this info. And of course, to Proton for the data download information. Bond Master and Disciple category allies gain attack and defense 40%. So of course, all the Piccolos, all the Gohans from the Saiyan Saga are going to have Bond Master and Disciple. I would think that the Krillin, as in perhaps the Yamchas as well, will have Bond Master and Disciple. I wonder if Goku's from the Saiyan Saga will also have Bond Master and Disciple. But again, this is pretty much relative, because this being a free-to-play unit only has 3,000 stats in the hidden potential system. And so, and also the base stats are going to be rather low. So, as you could see here, the max HP is going to be 18,500. The attack is 9,500. It's very low, and the defense is 5.6. It's 5,500. It's very, very, very low. So, yeah, I don't know how viable this unit is going to be defensively, but it is a very interesting kit, of course. So at the start of each turn, gains another 50% attack and defense up to 150%, and when there's an ally whose name includes Piccolo, Demon King, Majin Buu, etc. excluded on the team, 100% attack and defense permanently at the start of each turn up to 300%. So it's going to be 150% actually gaining for 3 turns. And that's going to be, the 50% is going to multiply into the 100% in each one. At the end of it is going to be multiplying into each other. So it's going to be 150%. I don't think it's going to be 50% plus 50% plus 50%. So bear that in mind, that it's different lines that multiply into each other, not the up to percent that multiply into each other. Then a additional attack that has a 50% chance of becoming a super attack. Attacks are effective against all types. Defense plus 200% when receiving an attack. That's nice to see, of course. I think that this is the way they should be warding all of the units at this point in the game. When there is an ally whose name includes Piccolo, attacking in the same turn, of course, not Demon King, Majin Buu, etc. excluded. Funnily enough, it's any kind of Piccolo. It doesn't have to be a Saiyan Saga Piccolo. But if it is a Saiyan Saga Piccolo, of course, that's going to be more... what's it called? Another 40% to the attack and defense because of being in the Saiyan Saga. Great chance of performing a critical hit. A guaranteed additional super attack. Has guard. 25% chance of evasion temporarily when receiving a super attack. So he already has 50%. That goes up to 75% temporarily when receiving a super attack, which could make him very viable, especially post-supering. That's very possible. Where's the super attack? Yeah, the super attack greatly raises attack and defense for once it goes supreme damage to the enemy and lowers attacks. If he can get 4 super attacks off, that'll tremendously help his survivability, of course. Then, for every attack performed, another 60% attack up to 300%. So 5 attacks will be up to 300% there. And for every attack received or evaded, another 60% attack and defense up to 180%. So that is actually a lot that's happening here with regards to stats. I don't know how high the defense is ever going to get. Again, we're not going to see his highest defensive stat up until he gets to take an attack. But I will say, for a free-to-play World Tournament unit getting an easy A, that is very, very interesting to see. Okay, that's at 55%. Yeah. So okay, never mind. I wasn't looking at this correctly, but yeah, that's the 3,000 entire stats. Yeah. So that goes up to 20k. Yeah. 20k, 11k, and 7.6. It's not as low as I would think, but I do wonder how that's going to look after a turn. Then we have, of course, the Krillin unit here, and Krillin is also a 3,000 unit. Stats are a little bit lower than the Goku's, and this is a Dragon Ball Saga banner unit. So we've got 200% attack and defense. Tournament participants, Dragon Ball Saga or Youth category allies gain 2 key, 20% attack and 40% defense, plus an additional 1 key and 20% attack and defense. Characters also belong to the World Tournament category. World Tournament category is not that big. This is going to make it, a little bit more of a support. I just don't know when this is going to be very viable, to be honest. So when HP is 90% or less, when 3 or more tournament participants, Dragon Ball Saga or Youth category allies are on the team, or when 2 or more World Tournament category allies are on the team. 150% attack and defense, and a 50% chance of performing a critical hit and dodging. When HP is 70% or less, when 4 or more tournament participants, Dragon Ball Saga or Youth category allies are on the team, or when 3 or more World Tournament category allies are on the team. Another 150% attack and defense, and another 50% chance to crit, and a 50% damage reduction, which is interesting. I'm not sure how good this is even going to look like, because Dragon Ball Saga is kind of in a no man's land for the most part, and this has been the case for a very long time. Most of the good units are pretty much just the World Tournament LR Chi-Chi, for example, and the Kid Goku. There's very few Dragon Ball Saga units. Youth, on the other hand, very possible to get Youth. Again, I don't know about a World Tournament category. It's possible, but tournament participants is definitely a much, much more viable team to work with because of all the UI Gokus on tournament participants. There's still more to the kit. When attacking with 12 or more ki, 200% attack and defense, and then a 500% extra attack when HP is 50% or less, when 5 or more tournament participants, Dragon Ball Saga or Youth category allies on the team, or when 4 or more World Tournament category allies, World Tournament category allies are on the team. Almost said World Tournament participants. Yeah. The convolutedness of this kit being so reliant on so many different conditions and stuff. You've got to be at 90% for this part, 70% for this part, 50% for this part. Yes, maybe when you're at 50% health, you can use him, but then again, if he's not going to be good defensively, he's not doing much in the way of surviving in any of the difficult content. Of course, for any content that is specifically relegated for Dragon Ball, it's very possible that the difficulty is not going to be that great to begin with, because the way Dokkan releases their units and releases their kits and their upgrades for units, it's to just barely get over a threshold or very much get over a threshold. It's never going to be where it's impossible to take the newest awakened units or easy aid units and stuff like that and then say, oh, it's not going to work with this unit for some reason. Then finally, the last bit of the passive, when there's a tournament participants, Dragon Ball Saga or Youth category enemy. 300% additional attack, 400% defense when attacking, and once only has another 40% chance as the first attacker in a turn. And yeah. So 90% chance to dodge at 1 point if you're under 90% health. But you've got to be under 90% health with 3 or more tournament participants or Dragon Ball Saga or Youth category allies on the team, or with 2 or more World Tournament category allies on the team. Of course, there is the Super Easy A, Goten and Trunks. They're also a dodge unit. Again, it's highly possible you can work with this. I don't, unfortunately, feel very confident in how well this will be defensively, because 500%, 700%, and then 1,000, 1,100%. Again, it's multiplying into each other, but as you could see here, you need to have even maxed for it to show up a certain amount to get to 7,500 defense stat to come up. Again, if you're gonna have the 50% damage reduction also, it may just be enough, of course. And then of course the super attack is greatly raising attack for 4 turns and then greatly raises defense for 1 turn and causes supreme damage to the enemy. In any case, please, folks, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below about these Dokkan Awakenings. And what do you think of Krillin and Gohan from the Saiyan Saga? And you're probably not excited about the World Tournament, but if you are, please let me know in the comment section down below. And we do have a Discord in the description if you would like to join. Come hang out, where I post the news, and where, of course, the videos go up to know when I post the video. And if you are new here or you aren't already, please consider subscribing. I hope you all have a great rest of your day and hope to see you all in the next one. Goshin signing off.